It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Oh my god, there's pollen. That's pollen. Pollen all over my camera. Literally, a bee literally landed right next to me while I was meditating and just started cleaning off its pollen. And it's all over the... Oh, they're dropping it on this... Maybe because of the pattern? Because of the pattern? But it's not hexagonal. Either way, weaving the thread here of leaning into the resistance. I've done dream work 10 of the last 12 mornings, and I might still do it this morning. I didn't simply because I feel like the insights are so deep and so overwhelming, and not just like I learned this thing and now I integrate it and it's here. It's like this is a lifelong integration, each of those insights, and it's like I'm overwhelmed by the lessons, and I feel like I need to be integrating them better because it doesn't feel like I've been integrating what I've been learning from the dreams. And every time I do dream work, it feels like it adds weight to what I'm trying to hold. And yeah, doing dream work 10 of the last 12 days is the most I've ever done by far in that stretch. I mean, yesterday was 10 of 11. I only missed one day, and it's a lot. It's a lot to do dream work that much. It's a whole other thing to integrate all that you learned from that dream work in a 12-day span. Regardless, today is a day of leaning into resistance. It feels like a very clear theme. I dipped yesterday. I wanted to have a full, clean, pure week, and I did all the way up until yesterday. Fridays just, they're not the day, you know? But the good thing about yesterday was that for the first half of the day, I fought it. I moved around it. I kept showing up. Cravings got worse and worse, so I went to the gym, came back, and only dipped for a couple hours, which is good. Normally, it could go on for 4 to 6 to 8 hours, and so all things considered, yesterday was the best Friday I've had in a long time. Even though I got injured, it's crazy when your adrenaline is pumping and you're playing an intense game. I was playing basketball at the gym, and we were playing such an intense game, and the game was neck and neck, and we just neither team could hit their final shots to win the game. And so it was just like, who's got more energy? Who can like outlast? Who has the most stamina? Because we were just getting exhausted, sprinting up and down the court, playing aggressive defense, and just having to continue to do it over and over and over again and see who could get over the hump. And we did, which felt great. And I'm grateful. Normally I have teams that play terrible defense. You know, you walk into a gym, most of the time people don't want to play defense. We were playing like full court press, like aggressively guarding them, which was great. And I genuinely believe that I started it. I was guarding their best player. I always guard the best player, and I was guarding him full court, just like smothering him, making sure that he didn't get into a groove, and he didn't. I kept him out of his groove. But I also, on offense, played horribly. I could not make a single shot, miss wide open layup. Like, it was terrible. So embarrassing. And it wasn't because I felt like my body was just like one step ahead and one step behind every time I was in the movement. I don't know what that was, but Fridays are not the day to play basketball or work out or do heavy, intense anything for me. There's something about that day that's supposed to be a day of relaxing. Every other day is normal. Something about Friday is so strange. But yeah, I got a blister on my foot that's the size of a quarter. And I felt pain on my foot, and it felt like it was a blister, but it was like the adrenaline was just strong enough to keep me pushing aggressively and playing aggressively. And by the time the game settled and my adrenaline came down, I looked at my foot and it was like fucking skin just ripped off this size. So, leaning into the resistance today, winding back up slowly. It's definitely a regeneration day, but leaning into the resistance. I think what I'm learning and what I wanted to test out months ago was picking specific days to do specific areas of my art. Like today's music today. Today is a visual art day. Today is kind of a split. But instead of, because I don't have any single day where that's all I focus on. And having to do the pivots every single day is difficult. Being able to focus on one thing throughout the whole day is much easier. And I've never tried to do that. It's like, I think what I'm realizing is that I've gone from trying to balance everything in a single day to realizing that I should be focusing as much as I possibly can on each, like specific days. So I'm gonna try that. I'm actually gonna attempt that. See how it goes. And if it goes well, that's what we're gonna pivot to. But time to get it. I made a track this morning that feels like the most me track I've ever made. And it feels good. I talked earlier about this, like, splitting, trying to balance so many things in the day is just not the move. I gotta pick days for specific things. One day is music, adapting to a few things around it. Next day is visual art, adapting to a few things around it. One day is Unreal Engine, one day is Touch Design, and one day is Ableton, just like so that I can go deep, because today I went deep without having to worry about I have literally 10 things a day on my schedule. It's like every hour is used up, and it's like if I even slip for like 15 minutes, it fucks up the whole schedule. If I mess up for an hour, everything, it's totally unrealistic. I gotta make a new schedule, because this one ain't working. And today I focused solely on music, and man, I came up with something that is very early in its stages, but it is definitely the most me track I've ever made. And it feels very inspiring. I'm really hoping I can pull this thing into this plane of existence, because, man, it's dope. It's really dope. And the core element of the song is sound that I designed myself. I designed it. I used my ear to make that sound. And guess what I'm doing tomorrow morning? Making music. And guess what I'm doing tomorrow afternoon? Making music. I got my first in-person co-writing, co-producing. It's more like recording vocals, but doing it's my first collaborative music session ever. And I want to give myself enough time and energy and sleep to walk into that prepared. So let's get it. For sure. Good night.